So we're a little over 72 hours into the launch of the new Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3. So I'm going to talk about the good, the bad, and the JoeWo. I mean, the ugly. Let's get into it. Now, as always, I would love to hear your guys' feedback on what I'm saying in the comment section down below, because I'm going to be reading and responding to a ton of those comments. Have you guys played the game? Have you not? Are you not getting it? Let me know down below. So to start off with, I want to dive into probably the most underrated feature of the whole game that I don't see a lot of people talking about for some reason, and that is zombies. Now, I know what you guys are probably thinking, zombies, there's no way you're playing that, Joe. That's so boring. But hear me out. It is the most underrated feature, hands down, because one, it is set on the new Uzbekistan, I think it's called, Warzone map. So if you guys haven't seen or explored the new Warzone map, there's a chance to do it in zombies. But also, this is the best way to level up guns. Now, guns aside, you can obviously hop into zombies, and it's basically DMZ from Modern Warfare 2, which I wasn't really a big fan of, to be honest, but there is the same types of contracts and missions and stuff, but it's like an open world zombies with DMZ. Now that means there's obviously a ton of different zones and things like that, different kind of contracts, things you can do with your friends, but overall, this is the best way to level up, obviously, guns. Now, when you're leveling up guns, you can either hop into multiplayer and get bent over by a bunch of slide canceling me's, or you can hop into zombies, turn on a podcast, turn on a stream, turn on this YouTube video, and just shoot at zombies, level up your guns with your friends, and it's honestly a vibe. Now, I would also love to hear what you guys think of the traditional zombies, how it was in the OG days. Again, as most of you guys know, I didn't play Call of Duty way back in the day for the good old days of COD, but I know that some people, I've seen positive feedback with this zombies and they love it, and I have seen some OG zombies grinders really hate on it, saying they're just still trying to push this DMZ route. Personally, I really like it because it is on the new Warzone map. It's just a chill way to rank up guns that you don't have to play multiplayer, because as we know, SBMF is just a nightmare, which I'm going to touch on now. Now, the biggest con of all of Call of Duty right now, and that is skill-based matchmaking. Now, before you guys jump down my throat, I understand that skill-based matchmaking is a necessary evil for Call of Duty and gaming. But man, do I feel like it is absolutely absurd and just cranked out to the max right now for Modern Warfare 3. So I see comments all day that's like, oh, Joe, you don't want to play against good players. Like, oh my gosh, like you're trying to fight bots all day. I understand what you're saying. And no, frankly, I do not want to fight against good players all day in a public match, in a random public match. That doesn't make sense. In my opinion, every single player and every single match should be connection based and not skill based matchmaking. Obviously, even with connection based and the wide variety of players, there will be some good players, some really good players, but not a lot, because there is very, very few. Obviously, if you look at it, most players are going to be pretty average or bad, and then it is going to get lower and lower on the scale of good players than very good. So there's going to be one or two players every couple games that are very good, and then a lot of average players and some below average players in connection-based matches. But with skill-based matchmaking, it doesn't even take into account ping or anything. You could be on 50 ping, somebody could be on 3 ping, but it's just going to find the sweatiest players and throw them in a lobby in a public match. It doesn't make sense to me. I understand it to an extent for new players and for very below average players. I understand to get them adapted to the game and stuff. It makes sense. But if you are an average or above average player, skill-based matchmaking is a miserable experience. Should it be in obviously a ranked player something? Of course, because you're playing a ranked play in a ranked mode to gain something. But if you're playing a public match to not gain anything except camo grind, fighting people that have maxed out guns and everything that are still using the same exact guns from Modern Warfare 2 just doesn't make sense to me. So I know this is definitely a hot topic, so let me know down below what you guys think of skill-based matchmaking. I understand both sides of it, but I just wish they would turn it down a little bit. Now, real quick, I want to shout out the sponsor of today's video and a great partner of mine, Underdog Fantasy. Now, in case you guys don't know, Underdog Fantasy is hands down the best place to play fantasy sports, and also you can do things like daily drafts and pick'ems, which are a blast. Now, right now, you can use code JoeWo for a $500 match using my code. Now make sure to click that link down below, download the app, it's super simple, and shout out to Underdog for sponsoring today's video. Now let's touch on multiplayer in MW3. Real quick too for my Warzone people, in case you guys don't know, because you probably like, why are you even playing multiplayer? I don't ever play multiplayer except for this game, and the reason being is the new Warzone, which is coming out I think next month, don't quote me on that. Everything and all of the gunplay and movement will be switching to MW3's gameplay and style. Now again, whenever Modern Warfare 2019 was out, I hated playing Cold War and Vanguard and games like that because their movement and gunplay and style of the game wasn't going to actually transition over to the MW 2019 engine. With this game, everything you are doing in MW3 will be transitioning over to the new Warzone, meaning the movement, which feels really good so far, the gunplay, the animations, how the game feels, and all the guns and camos will be moving over to the new game. Which means I've been loving learning all the movement and stuff to actually practice for when Warzone comes out. Little side note. Now touching on the maps real quick, I have been really enjoying the OG Modern Warfare 2 maps. Now again, in my opinion, me being able to grind them for the first time has been a ton of fun, but I'm not a big fan of them not dropping any new maps because I feel like they're kind of going the cheap way out and just recycling old content to just sell the game, which I understand completely, as a lot of these maps are a lot of people's favorite maps of all time. But I feel like having some new maps in the future that are actually good is going to definitely help this game's kind of life and longevity. But overall though, I've been having a ton of fun on the OG maps, and I've been seeing a ton of clips and really cool stuff from snipers and trick shotting and all that kind of stuff, which has been cool. But again, hopefully in the future, they do add some new maps that aren't from the old Call of Duties. Now regarding the movement and gameplay, I have been really enjoying it. Obviously coming from Modern Warfare 2 and Warzone 2, every animation and everything you did felt like you had a penalty or like 50-pound boots on, or it was just absurd. In this game, everything feels much more responsive and snappy. The one thing that has been super frustrating for movement, which they have addressed that they're going to be fixing, is the tack sprint bug. So if you guys don't know, and you're probably confused like, Joe, what the heck is this? You guys have probably experienced it. If you guys are currently slide canceling, and once you come out of a slide cancel, right, you cannot tack sprint. And they have addressed that they are going to be fixing this problem, which is going to hopefully make the movement feel night and day better, barring they actually do it right. Once that gets fixed and stuff, I think we're in for a good year movement-wise, which is obviously so key for any first-person shooter, especially Call of Duty. Hopefully by the time this video comes out, they will have a fix, because it just got put on their Trello board that it is scheduled to be fixed. So maybe by the time this video comes out, they'll fix the tack sprint bug and we'll be moving again. With that being said too, obviously I'm going to be dropping a ton of guides for you guys, movement guides, aiming guides, all that stuff is coming. It was really hard to make that content in MW2 with such a lack of a skill gap. But with this game, obviously I got you guys with all the best classes, movement guides, aiming guides, everything. I'm excited to bring that content back because that is some of my favorite and your guys' favorite, hands down. Now overall, let me know what you guys think of MW3. And if you guys made it this far in the video, make sure to look down below, like the video, make sure that you're subscribed because we got a ton of content just like this coming all year and for Warzone. So I love you guys as always. Thank you for clicking on today's video. I'll see you guys soon. All right, peace.